10-question quiz on Monday. The last question is going to say, upload all of your work as a PDF. Numbered clearly 1 through 10, not just all over the place. I need to see number 1, here's your work. Number 2, here's your work. I need to see work for every single question. Even if it's just like I'll show you on number 1. If it's just a tiny little bit of work, I need to see something for you guys to get credit. Does everybody understand? Yes? No? Maybe?
Yes.
You're going to log into your normal Zoom meeting. You need to log in from a computer or a phone, so you have some sort of device. You need to be able to show me, like right here, it should be like this, so I can see your workspace. So I see exactly what you're doing, and then I can come through and I can watch you take your quiz, all right? That's super important that you guys do that. Super duper duper important. All right, so if you had a question like number 1, if you notice here, guys, it tells you that the possibility could be geometric, all right? So if something is geometric, the first thing you should think of is the geometric formula. It's the first term times r, which is the common ratio, to the n minus 1. Remember, on your workspace, you can have a sheet of paper that has all of your formulas on it, so refer back to it, that sort of thing. You can have all the formulas, you can have a calculator, and you have your iPad. You should also probably have a sheet of paper so you can work on it, take a picture of it, and upload it so I can see it really well. So how would you figure out if this was geometric or not? Remember, geometric means you multiply to get from the one term to the next. So in order for you to show work on something like this, some of you can see it's going multiplied by 3 each time. But notice that the signs are alternating. So what I would need from you is to take one of the terms, so I'm just going to take 36, and divide it by the number in front of it, which is negative 12. What's 36 divided by negative 12?
Negative 3.
Negative 3. So this common ratio here is negative 3. Check to make sure that's right. 4 times negative 3 is negative 12. Negative 12 times negative 3, positive 36. Positive 36 times negative 3, negative 108. So do you guys see how that's correct? So you would choose the answer choice that says, yes, this is geometric, and the common ratio is negative 3. Now, did you have to write me a paragraph and do this whole long equation? No, but I do need to see that you understand. Each question, I just made the quiz, each question is worth 7 points each. So if you get all the questions right, but you don't show work, the highest you can get on the quiz is a 70. All right, the last question is to upload your work. So if you get all of your questions right, but you don't upload the work, then you'll get a 70. So make sure you guys are showing your work, okay? For something like the next one where it says write the first 5 terms of the geometric. Again, geometric looks like this. You guys can have this written down on a sheet of paper sitting next to you. They tell you that the first term is 3. They tell you that the common ratio is 1/5. If I want to know what the first 5 terms are, then I plug in for n 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So what I need to see work-wise is this. 3 and then 1/5 to the 1 minus 1. 3 to the 1/5 to the 2 minus 1. 3 times 1/5 to the 3 minus 1. 3 times 1/5 to the 4 minus 1. And then 3 times 1/5 to the 5 minus 1. Everybody see that? That's all I need to see work-wise. That's you guys showing me, oh, okay, I know how to plug this in. Now, if you were going to evaluate this on your paper, if you want to keep working it out, okay, you can say that this is to the 0 power, this is to the first, second, third, and fourth, right? Now, if your answers are in decimals, then keep them in decimals. If your answers are in fractions, answer in fractions. 3 times 1/5 to the 0 power would be 3 times 1, which is 3. 3 times 1/5 to the first power would just be 3 over 5. 3 times 1/5 to the second power, well, think about that. You distribute the 2 to both of these, so 5 squared is 25. It would just be 3 over 25. 3 times 1/5 to the third power, distribute that 3, and you get 3 over 5 to the third power is 125. And then 3 times 1/5 to the 4th power, distribute the 5, you get 3 over, and 5 to the 4th power is 625. So your first 5 terms, this would be your answer. This would be what you would choose. But if you don't show me work, guys, I am not giving you credit. Make sure you're paying attention when I say that, okay? Yes? Okay. So now we go here. Use the formula for geometric. As soon as I see geometric, I write down a sub n equals a sub 1 times r to the n minus 1. Right? They tell me here, guys, what the first term is, and they tell me what the common ratio is. So I'm going to write a sub n equals, first term is 7 times, guys, whoever's moving around, just stop for a sec or mute yourself. So I have first term is 7, and then the common ratio is -2 to the n minus 1. And that's what you would look for in your answer choices. That's you guys showing me. If you say to me, okay, I got to show a little bit of work, I need write that down. Show me something, right? And then it says I want to find which term? The 4th term. So you guys would, all you got to do is just say a sub 4 equals 7 times -2 to the 4 minus 1. That's all I need to see. You want to do the rest of your calculator? Feel free. What this looks like is really 7 times -2 to the 3rd power, because 4 minus 1. But you can do all that in your calculator if you put your parentheses in correctly. So -2 to the 3rd power, and I get -56. You with me? Yeah? Okay. This question, it's the same exact question. They just don't explicitly say first term is, common ratio is. But they do tell you that this is geometric. So immediately I write down, oh, this is geometric. This is the formula I'm using. Then you can identify your a sub 1. What is the first term that you come in contact with? It's the first term. 6, good. And what's the common ratio? Well, how would you show me what the ratio was? Take one of the terms. I'm going to take, good. I'm going to take 24 and divide it by the number in front of it, which is 12. What's 24 divided by 12? 2. You could have taken 96 and divided by 48. You could have taken 12 and divided by 6, whatever. But that's just showing me a little bit of work. And then now to write your answer, all I want is the rules. So you'd say a sub n equals, the first term is 6 times 2 to the n minus 1. Questions?
You wouldn't have to multiply the 6 and the 2 together?
No.
Just leave it that way?
Leave it just like that. Because what you have to do this part, let me do a different color. That's a good question. But you have to do this. You have to evaluate that before you multiply by the 6. Good question. All right, these next two. Guys, I told you we're only going to talk about geometric and arithmetic. All right, I am not going to give you something that's like 1 over n squared plus 2 and say, okay, which one? That's neither geometric nor arithmetic, so don't worry about it. So these two are asking you, which one are they? All right, so in this first example, what is this? Is this arithmetic or is this geometric?
Arithmetic.
It's arithmetic, good. So what is the common difference? What are you adding or subtracting every single time in this one?
3.
Yep. Perfect.
3 times whatever number.
Yep. What is the second one?
Geometric.
It's geometric because you have your n is in the exponent. Geometric. What's my common ratio? What are we multiplying by every time?
4.
4. Perfect. Perfect. You guys okay? All right. The next three are. You guys had questions.
Wait,
yeah. Sorry.
Can I ask something?
Sure.
Okay. When you found the two previous ones, like the arithmetic and geometric ones,
Uh-huh.
The reason why you know that it's 3 and 4 respectively is because they're being times by n. Like
Yes, it's what. Yes. It's what's with the n. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Because the thing is, when it's not in like the other equation form, I guess, like in the traditional one.
All right, for these next ones, you guys were asking me, some of you, a lot of you, and which is perfectly fine. You were asking me, wait, I don't know how to do this on my WebAssign. Okay, first of all, the WebAssign ones are a lot bigger and a lot more intricate than the ones we're going to do. All right, I'm not going to give you huge numbers or teeny tiny numbers, but what you need to understand is there are 2 ways to figure this out. There's an easier way and there's a more difficult way. I'm going to show you both ways, so if you get stuck, you guys have something else to look at. So I'm going to go down here. I'm going to take this question and I'm going to do it down here, okay? So you guys, I have enough room. I want you to copy this down. It's a little different from the original formula I gave you, but this is going to be a little easier, I think, for you to work out. So do it this way. Okay, this is for finite. And I'm going to show you both ways. But again, you guys have this. You can sit this on your desk on a sheet of paper so you can work it out, look at it. It's right in front of you to look at this. But there's 2 different things. We're going to talk about finite. We're going to talk about infinite, okay? So in this case, they're telling me they want the first 13. I'm just going to kind of jot down some notes from the question so I don't have to keep going up and down. First 13 terms. I want the sum of the first 13 terms. And my sequence is 5, negative 15, 45, negative 135. Okay? You guys with me on this one?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, what are the 2 things you need in order to plug into this formula? I need 2 pieces of information.
You need your first term
First
and your
term?
rate.
Okay, first term and my ratio. So this is easy. We can figure this part out. What is the first term? What's the first number that they gave you? 5. Okay, so a sub 1 is 5. For my ratio, how do I find the ratio?
You divide.
Take one term and do what?
So you take n divided by the previous term.
Okay, so I'm going to say 45 divided by negative 15. And I get what?
Negative 3.
Negative 3?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Now again, let's use this formula. Not the one that I gave you the other day. Let's use this formula. This is a little simpler. If I was going to find the sum here, I take my first term and I'm going to put it right here. And then I have a big parenthesis. Okay? Now it's 1 minus, what is my rate?
Negative 3.
Negative 3. And I'm raising that to what power? What is the sum that I want? The first how many?
13.
Okay. Over 1 minus what?
Negative 3.
Negative 3.
Negative 3.
Carbio, thank you for coming.
1 minus negative 3.
Yep. Now, this can get yucky with our minus signs. So don't freak out. Okay? We all right? I can say 5. When I have minus a negative, what does that become?
Positive.
Positive. So I can say 1 plus 3 to the 13th power. Or you could evaluate negative 3 to the 13th power, which it would give you a negative answer, correct? Because it's a negative odd exponent. So then 2 negatives, I'd have minus a negative would give me a positive. That's why you can do it that way. And on the bottom, what's 1 minus negative 3?
Positive 3.
4.
Positive 4.
No.
Oh, wait.
Positive 4. Sorry.
Well, sorry.
You're okay. You're okay. So guys, in your calculators, just simplify this a piece at a time because there's a lot of stuff that could be kind of yucky if you don't have your parentheses in correctly. So I would, in your calculator, say 1 plus 3 to the 13th power. And what do you get?
Big number.
Yes, that's okay.
1,594,324.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, you can evaluate all of this in your calculator. Just put 5, parenthesis, 1, 5, 9, 4, 3, 2, 4, divided by 4, close your parenthesis.
Ends up coming out to be 1,992,904. 5.
5? Okay. I got the same thing. Now, some of you are thinking, I can get so confused here and there with the parentheses and stuff. Another way that you could do this, or that you could check yourself, if I wanted the first 13 terms, okay, I know, you guys agree with me that my rule here is 5 times negative 3 to the n minus 1. You guys agree with that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I could plug in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13. I could plug all of those in for n, and then what can I do with all of those answers?
Add it.
I could add them all up to get the sum. You'll get the exact same answer. It's kind of crazy to do all that when you have a formula that you can use, but just make sure you have this one written down for finite. Just put the first term on the outside and don't worry about the way that we were doing it before. This is just easier. It's a little cleaner. All right, let's look at the next one. Find the indicated sum. All right, I'm going to use the formula again. I'm going to say sum is whatever that first term works out to be. And then I'm going to say 1 minus r to the n over 1 minus r. So if I need to find out, here's my problem. They're saying take this expression, find the first 5 terms, add them all together. So how would I find the first term that I would plug into my formula here?
I would plug in 1 for I.
Okay, plug in 1 for I. So if I plug in 1 there, I have 2 times 4 to the first power. So my first term is what number?
8.
8.
8.
Okay. And guys, follow along with me. This is how you're going to show me your work on your quiz when you take it. Okay, so I have 8. Then let's look at the rest of the formula. 1 minus r. Well, what's my ratio? What am I doing?
Multiplying 4.
Yep. I know 4. Right there. Yep, 4. Good. And then to the n power. Well, what's the biggest number? What's the highest number they want me to plug in?
5.
Perfect. Over 1 minus what?
1 minus
1 minus 4.
4.
Mm-hmm. Now it's just a matter of simplifying. So you have 8 times. Guys, in your calculator, what's 1 minus 4 to the 5th power? Negative 1023.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
1 minus 4 is negative 3.
Yes.
So then you have 8 and then hit times negative 1023 divided by negative 3. And you get 2728.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, you guys agree. Now, some of you are going to say, oh, I just don't know if I did that right. What is the way that you could check to make sure that your answer is correct?
You can plug it in, but, well, I think so.
Talk to me.
Never
Yeah.
mind.
No. What were you going to say?
I was thinking of putting, since that's the sum of all the 5 numbers,
Mm-hmm.
we could do it like we did last time, which is by going 1 by 1.
You absolutely
and then
could.
adding
You absolutely could. And this is something that some of you guys can do. Maybe you have a little extra time on your quiz. Maybe you're thinking, I just want to check. So do it. If it's the first 5 terms, plug in 2 times 4 to the first power, 2 times 4 to the second power, 2 times 4 to the third power, 2 times 4 to the fourth, and 2 times 4 to the fifth, right?
Yeah.
Again, I'm not telling you have to do this. I'm showing you a way that you can check. So 2 times 4, we know this is 8. All right, 4 squared is 16 times 2 is 32. 4 cubed is 64 times, it's 128, right? 4 to the 4th power. I'm just doing that in my head because I know that. If you guys don't, it's no big deal. You have a calculator. This is 512. And then 4 to the 5th power times 2, 2048. And then if I add those together, 2 plus 128 plus 32 plus 8, I got 2728, which is that what we got using the formula?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
So you know you're correct. Everybody see that? We okay? All right. And then the last one, guys. If you get an infinite, you see how it says infinite. All right. This is the easy one. Our infinite. I'm going to write down here. This is my infinite formula. Anybody know what it is?
Sn equals A1 over 1 minus R.
That's it. This is for infinite. It's the first term over 1 minus the ratio. So given, what was it? 48, 12, 3. So this is the sequence that I was given. 48. Right? And it goes on and on and on. Okay. So I need 2 pieces of information. What are the 2 pieces of information I need?
The base of 1 and the ratio.
Okay. So the first term is 48. Agreed? Yeah?
Yes.
Okay. So then my ratio. How do I figure out what the ratio is?
You take one of the terms and you divide it by the previous term.
Okay, take one of the terms, divide it by the previous one. So I'm going to take 12 and divide it by 48. 12 divided by 48 is how much?
1/4.
1/4.
1/4.
So now I just plug that in. Whoa, sorry. I have 48 is the first term divided by 1 minus 1/4. Now I'm going to work this out by hand and then I'll also do it in the calculator to show you. So I have 48 over, what's 1 minus 1/4?
-3/4.
Not negative,
Oh no, sorry. Positive.
just positive, right? So now if I was going to work this out, it's okay. If I was going to work this out, we would keep change flip, correct? So 48
Yeah, divide
times
48 by 4.
4 over 3. All right, so 3 goes into 3 once. 3 goes in here 16, so my answer is 64. You could very easily, guys, do this in your calculator. 48 divided by
3/4.
48 divided by
175.
1 minus, how, if I do this, let's see. Okay, so if you did this in your calculator, it would have to be 1 minus, then you would go 1/4 in parentheses and then another parenthesis in your calculator. Or you could do 48 divided by parenthesis 3 divided by 4. You just got to make sure you got your parentheses correct. Okay? That makes sense?
Yep.
All right, that's it. That is basically what your quiz is going to be from sections 8.1, 8.2, 8.3. So it's arithmetic, geometric, and then just kind of basic ones at the beginning of follow the sequence, the terms, that sort of thing.